Well, the world economy looks set to get a boost from China's reopening, with Chinese residents gearing up for travel. Sectors such as aviation and tourism are getting a lift. Now, industry data shows international travel bookings for the upcoming Chinese New Year holiday soared by 260% from a year ago. Among the nations likely to benefit from the anticipated boom in Chinese tourists include Southeast Asian nations, many of which rely heavily on tourism dollar. And commodities are also expected to get a boost as Beijing is ramping up its support for the ailing property sector. And copper prices have shot past $9,000 a ton for the first time since June, while Australian mining shares have been surging. Now, the IMF has described China's pivot from zero COVID as likely the single most important factor for global growth this year. One analyst from Natixis says China could account for as much as half of the increase in global GDP this year. Our businesses on the mainland side of the border with Hong Kong have welcomed the news of the reopening of checkpoints. But experts say even though a recovery is on the cards, there remain other economic challenges. Olivia Xiong files this report from Shenzhen, and a warning viewers may find one account disturbing.
It's a hive of activity at the Futian checkpoint in southern China's Shenzhen city. Travelers, traffic, and business activity is back as borders between the mainland and Hong Kong reopened on January 8 after being shut for the last 3 years.
大部分都是3年了。他说啊，好久不见啊！他说我都以为你这个店不开了。我说开，一直在开。我说等着你们回来。
It's been a long wait too for 30-year-old property agent Lin Xiaopan, whose brokerage firm is located just opposite the checkpoint.
很多香港的同胞过来都会买房、租房。以前呢，很多人都是过来这边找我们这个店，带他们去买房子。所以说，关口没开之后呢，这2、3年来呢，就很少有这样的客户了。
A 15-minute drive away from the checkpoint, other businesses in Shenzhen's Huanggang area have also felt the pinch.
Now, this is an area in Shenzhen city with many shops and eateries that are popular with visitors from Hong Kong. But with borders between the mainland and the special administrative region closed over the last 3 years, I'm told by locals that many businesses have chosen to close down.
50-year-old Mei Qingwu, who runs a massage business, is one of those who chose to press on. The shops next door either taking a break or have shut due to the lack of customers. But it hasn't been easy, as 70% of its customers used to be from Hong Kong.
很辛苦啊，很累啊。这3年来真的跳楼的感觉都有，很难的，3年真的很难做。
To keep the business afloat, the Hubei native had to borrow money from friends to pay the rent, lay off staff, and cut wages by over $400 per worker. Even so, he says he would have closed down if borders didn't reopen by March.
我们还是没什么生意，就是看到希望了，看到一点点希望就可以了。
One mainland-based Hong Kong business group tells us tourism, retail and logistics have been the hardest hit in the last 3 years. But they expect the flow of people and goods to pick up after the Chinese New Year holiday and return to normal, possibly from the third quarter.
反应非常好啦，他们都很欢迎啦。很多先进已经准备改变他们2023年第1季度的发展的政策，准备在投资的准备到内地啦，也有些项目自己工作的赶快回来，有些要办理啦，该做的事情啦。
This comes as China is hoping for a rebound in its economy following the dismantling of its strict zero-COVID policy. The Greater Bay Area, which includes Hong Kong, Macau, Shenzhen, and 8 other mainland cities in Guangdong province, positioned to play a key role in that. Even prior to the pandemic, authorities have sought to turn the region into an innovation and technological powerhouse, although the Economist Intelligence Unit says the mainland's current COVID-19 surge will need to stabilize first.
And there's going to be a positive boost that, if nothing else, from the sort of people-to-people exchanges that weren't possible during the last 2.5 to 3 years. The GBA does face a number of challenges that have increased during the pandemic, so it's still going to face the outcome of these frictions between the US and China, for instance.
This includes trade tariffs and export restrictions on U.S. chips to China, which could impact high-tech manufacturing in the Bay Area region. Olivia Xiong, CNA, Shenzhen.